Hi everyone, I am Anna Stout, the CEO of the Roice-Hurst Humane Society, and I'm here with James Lout, our fabulous photographer who does among other things, he does the shoot for our calendar every year. Hi James.
Hello Anna.
Thank you so much for having us back in your studio to take pictures for this year's calendar once again.
Of course.
Last year's calendar turned out beautifully and I think we're really happy with it. So, who was your favorite pet to photograph this year?
I like the Fozzie Bear. It was just, that is the biggest dog I've ever seen, and he loved me. He was just like knocking me over like the whole time, and yeah, I would say that he was my favorite just because I like big dogs.
He was a challenge though, wasn't he? We
got like one photo. We got like one photo of him, but as for the experience, he was just so big, and like as soon as I sat down to photograph, like he would just knock me over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's probably dominating me, and I took it as like endearment.
No, I do think it was affection, because wasn't he the one that kept sitting on me, and every time we'd try to get him by himself in the frame,
yeah, he just wanted to be next to a human. Like,
yeah.
He just wanted to be right next to us.
He was a fun dog. So many people who get our calendar this year might recognize a very famous figure in there, and that's our shelter cat, Coraline.
Yes.
What was it like having a dignitary in the studio like Miss Coraline?
I was amazed that she chose me. I mean, out of all the photographers around here, I mean, Coraline chose me. And, I mean, it's pretty emotional. I remember like it was so hard to photograph her because she's so dark.
She's especially challenging because we have to have her lit just right.
Right.
As
Because
a
she's
black cat.
and she's like super dark. So it was not only hard to focus on her, but then by the time I did get focused, she would move.
Can you describe a little bit about what your process is for photographing pets compared to your process for photographing people?
Yeah, I think the main difference is just the patience. Like with a person, I can sit them down. I can like, hey, look over here. I can get the lighting right. Once I have the light set up, that's it. I mean, I just have them look around. But with pets, I have a general idea. And then it's like, it's up to you to keep them in that spot while also getting them to do what we want them to. So it's not that easy. And so it's just patience. And I just have to go into it knowing that we might not get anything. We might be here for 6-7 hours and get one or two photos of a couple animals, maybe not even all of them.
Yeah.
So.
And you and I have a little bit of a photography chemistry, and we have a preference that really lines up, and that's that while portrait photos of animals have an artistic value, we really are looking for that very unique either action shot or expression. How much harder is it to get a shot like that than it is to get a beautiful photo that's just a portrait?
This portrait, super hard, because one of the difficult things is not only to get them to do like an action shot, but they need to have a good expression too. We've gotten some really good action shots, but then the cats are just kind of like, and there's like, it doesn't look good. So.
And it's so complicated because what we have to figure out how you have to be able to anticipate what the animal is going to do. So you're watching what I'm doing and trying to see, if I'm trying to get them to jump a certain direction, I'm trying to get them to face the camera. I'm trying to get them to keep their head low enough that we get eyes in the picture and not just a body shot. I think that there's that additional challenge. Animals are complicated enough just to get to stay in one place and look the direction you want them to. So portrait photography of pets is challenging in and of itself, but to get the kinds of shots that you and I are so excited about, we have to have everything timed perfectly. And how many times did it happen this time that we thought we had the perfect shot and it was out of focus? Or we thought we had the perfect shot and it was a half a second too late and we had eyes closed or the head up too high or the toy was still in front of the face. And so I think that of 1,000 shots we take, it's not uncommon for us to have one or two.
If we're lucky.
If we're lucky. And then of course the animals have a patience span. They can only pay attention and be focused and care about either the treats or the toys that we're using for so long.
Cats are usually Cats are usually, to me, they get tired faster because they're so much more active. I mean, some of those cats they're going crazy in here. I mean, really playful. But if you don't get enough shots while they're that playful, now they're just tired.
And that's a really great segue to my next question, which is, we definitely choose to bring puppies and kittens in when we have them because they tend to be easier to photograph because they're playful, they're active, they're just sometimes easier.
Right.
So what was it like this year? You got to photograph a litter of puppies that we put on the crate. These are our cover photo puppies, and we weren't sure when they came in sort of what level of development they were at, and we were hoping to get some action shots, and it turned out they were at the phase that they were still just blobs.
Yes.
So we got some blob photos that were really adorable, sleeping photos, but there was no chance we were getting any sort of active photos of those puppies. Right. So then 2 months later, these puppies come back, and was that rewarding to get to have photos from about 3 weeks old, and then to be able to take photos of them when they were true, puppies on their way to doghood.
Right. Yeah, it was fun, and I mean, we couldn't get them all in the same shot like before. They were very happy to be here.
Looking at the shots that made it into the calendar this year, do you have a favorite?
I like Nico because it looks like she's walking down the runway. It's just incredible. I mean, the tail, the look, the legs, it's just, she looks like, yeah.
I like that one a lot too. The lines in that are so flowy and elegant. And it's almost a power pose for her.
Yeah, very.
I think one of my favorites is probably Enrique getting ready to pounce. So I really love that one.
Too, yeah.
The other photo that I thought was really interesting was the January's photo of Domino. That was the dog that we could not get eyes on.
No, because it's like it reminded me of the sheepdog from the old cartoons, like that. I mean, I was kind of hoping that they would do that.
Even when we thought we had Domino's eyes in it, then we'd go back and look at it on the bigger screen, and there was nothing there. But what I love about the photo we chose is that even though the eyes aren't the first thing you look at and they're not the draw, the shape of his tongue and the clarity of his mouth is just beautiful. I actually think that that's one of my favorites.
And he looks happy.
He does look happy. He looks very happy.
Which is weird since you can't see the eyes, but it still comes through that he's a happy dog.
Stevie, our December dog, was a fun one. That was our crazy pitty. And what I loved about Stevie was that, we were having a hard time getting shots in general because Stevie was a little rambunctious.
Sure.
And what I really love about the one that we got is that you captured him in this moment of joy, and you can just see the exuberance in this dog's face. Were there any pets that didn't make it into the calendar this year that you really wish had photographed well enough to make it in?
I do wish that the kittens that we had photographed on the box, the same box that we photographed the puppies on, had made it. Unfortunately, my focus finger was not working correctly.
Oh no.
That day, so they were all out of focus.
Another one who didn't make it in was Sasha. Do you remember that dog?
I remember a couple of the photos of her.
I think she's a really good example of how sometimes we get really beautiful photos, but they just don't they're too portraity. They're beautiful, they would be lovely in the adopter's home, but for what we're looking for the calendar, there's just not that something.
That pizzazz, that je ne sais quoi.
Yes, but she was lovely, and she was the one that we were trying to toss treats for, and rather unsuccessfully because I think the only one she caught was the one that I threw into her mouth when she wasn't
paying attention. Because you throw it and she just look at it and then eat it off the ground. It's like, that's not what we want.
But she was a really sweet dog.
Very sweet. Well, that's what's so great about when we work together, because you know what I'm looking for, and so when we work together, it's just bam, take it. Honestly, I wouldn't be able to do half of what we do without you, because you are that other person. When I do have, I love photographing pets, but when I'm the sole person doing it, I don't feel like they come out quite as good.
Well, I have so much fun photographing with you because I do think I'm on the same wavelength. I know what you're looking for. I know I have learned in the 6 years we've been doing this how to shape the animal,
Mm-hmm.
how to lead them and lure them into a position that works, or how to stay out of your way.
How to move the toy.
How to move the toy, or my hand,
fast,
or my entire body.
So.
Yeah, and it has been such a rewarding experience because when we see these calendars at the end of the year and we get to flip through them and see the product of this, it really is something that I feel a tremendous amount of satisfaction and gratitude for, because it really is the product of 6 years of learning how to read each other's minds. What is the most rewarding part for you of photographing shelter pets for us?
I like to think that I have some small way of showing these animals in a light that maybe they didn't have before, and maybe people can see that, like for the pit bulls, that they're fun. They're not going to chew your face off. When we photograph them, they're playful, they're
goofballs.
And that's right. And so to me, that's one of the most rewarding things. Is I'd like to think that what we do has a small way of getting them into their forever home.
James, thank you again so much for being willing to donate your time again this year to take photos of our pets for the calendar. And we don't just use these for the calendar. A lot of them that didn't quite make it into the calendar still get used throughout the year in our newsletters, in our greeting cards, and a bunch of other publications that we do. So thank you so much for giving us this incredible trove of beautiful photos that we get to use that really do highlight how beautiful our shelter pets are. So thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. It's so rewarding for me to be able to volunteer a skill that I have that helps. It makes me feel good, and I'm glad that you took a chance on me 6 years ago.
I'm glad that you cold called me 6 years ago. We really do appreciate you, all of us.
And I appreciate you too.